VHS cult.
I was a loner until there were no friends left. And before someone offered me drugs, you know, I was straight edge. And everyone's quit till you offer them a cigarette. Before we learn our lesson, let's see how bad things can get. And I'll drink myself to death, or at least I'll drink myself to sleep. Chain smoke my way through the gaps in between my aspirations and my apathy. As we drive past the last exit to home, I am waving goodbye, and I might be sleeping in the ditch tonight, but it's alright, 'cause whiskey is my kind of lullaby.
I've been keeping Vampire Hours lately. It's I don't know.
That's inappropriate. We watched an appropriate movie then.
Yeah, I need to figure out my sleep schedule or something. I'm gonna have to do an all-nighter. Reset. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Rocking.
Not really. I'm not familiar with booties rocking everywhere.
Well, it's been there used to be a glut of booty songs, but now there's like barely any of them. I was thinking about it last night.
No, it's not. It doesn't seem like it's booty time out there right now.
It's too bad. But I remember I mentioned before it's the year without party rocking. So
yeah. So it makes sense. There's no booty time.
Ass so fat, look like she's trying to walk backwards, bruh. That's what 2 Chainz said. And it's like, I don't know what that means, 2 Chainz, but you got a fat ass. One time I saw 2 Chainz at a show, and he's tall as fuck.
Did he have 2 chains?
Seemed like he had more than 2 Chainz.
He can't do that.
Well, his name used to
2
be,
exactly.
He used to be Titty Boy.
I remember that.
Then he's Titty Boy 2 Chainz. Then he's just 2 Chainz. Yeah, it's crazy that like he wasn't super popular when he was Titty Boy, but I remember he had like a kind of like an underground hit as Titty Boy, and it's crazy he just changed his name. He's like, I'll never be able to get mainstream as Titty Boy. I'll have to be 2 Chainz.
I need to make some money. I need a house.
Mm-hmm.
Put some food on the table.
It's not possible with this ridiculous ass name, Titty Boy. Titty Boy. Da-na-na-na. You know what's going on? So this week, obviously, everyone's still tearing down statues, which is good. Black lives still matter. Everything's going. Cops still killing people. Of course, killed the 18-year-old security guard. It's now coming out that he was on his knees with his hands behind his head when they killed him. So
that's never happened before.
Thank you, police. I'm not shocked at all. Just eventually, people are going to have to start killing the police.
Well, that's probably not going to happen.
It seems like the only solution.
Well, I mean, like it probably will happen like on a small scale, to be honest. But I don't,
They just won't stop, and no one's willing to abolish them. So us ones on the street will have to get out there and abolish them. Like my friend's cousin who's serving a life sentence for killing a cop. I don't know all the details, but since he's a cop, I'm guessing he got what he deserves. What else this week? Some minor distractions from the real cause. It's Juneteenth, but also people got opinions about video games.
Oh, I don't pay attention to video game opinions. We're talking about Gamergate still?
Last of Us 2 came out.
Oh, I don't.
Gamergate. I don't know.
I didn't care about The Last of Us 1. So
video games are just bad. I don't understand why people are so invested in them. But I guess it's just like a cultural touch. So
I started watching The Watchmen because it's free. I'm watching The Watchmen, huh?
That show sucks.
Yeah, it's all right.
Nah,
it's better than I was expecting. I went with real low expectations.
Yeah, it's bad. It's stupid. It just gets worse and worse. It's dumb. I don't understand why people bother.
Were they actually trying to hide that Michael Ironside was Adrian until the 3rd episode? I thought.
No, I don't know. Maybe for like the casual watcher. Be like, oh, okay.
Also, I think you mentioned when they first came out that Michael Ironside was Ozymandias, and I was like, that doesn't really work for me. But I actually kind of like him as it works.
Also, you mean Jeremy Irons?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I said Michael Ironside, didn't I?
Michael Ironside's a different white man.
They're all the same to me.
Yeah.
He has iron in his name.
Jeremy Irons has a much more interesting voice than Michael Ironside.
Michael Ironside has a crazy voice. What are you talking about? They both have interesting voices. Michael Ironside was Darkseid.
Oh, really?
In the Justice League cartoons, remember?
Yeah, he's Total Recall.
He has a crazy voice.
He just has an old white guy voice, not like Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons has like,
I've been smoking 8 packs a day since I was 3.
Yeah, he's got like God's voice or something.
Be prepared.
The best song in Lion King.
Yeah, he didn't sing all that though. I don't believe because he had a smoker's voice.
He could probably do it. Tom Waits does it. Tom Waits built his whole career on it, and then
I don't know that Jeremy Irons has quite the vocal
range.
Chops.
Yeah. Tom Waits built the whole career around it, and then he became the Joker, baby.
I'm a Joker, baby.
The Joker, baby. So
1987 gave us 2 vampire movies, and obviously one was set in Santa Cruz, so that's the better one by default.
Yeah, so separated by 2 months from The Lost Boys, it's 1987's Near Dark, which is what we watched this week.
Near dark. Pray for daylight. The night has its price.
A small-town farmer's son reluctantly joins a traveling group of vampires after he is bitten by a beautiful drifter. You know, just boy meets girl, becomes a vampire. You've seen it before. It's like the Jim Carrey version of the story. What's it called? Once Bitten?
Oh, I forgot about that movie.
Is that the Jim Carrey one? I don't know. There's a lot of shitty 80s vampires movies, and we'll watch them all. We'll watch them all. Not saying Near Dark is a shitty one, but, there's,
it's not really a lot of great vampire movies.
There's Near Dark, Lost Boys,
Twilight, the Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Which is the one with the terrifying CG baby. Is that the very last one? That one's pretty good. Why do they have why is that monster in it? Where does that monster come from? Near Dark, yeah, it's coming only 2 months after Lost Boys. Lost Boys, of course, was a major studio production. It's full of teen beat heartthrobs. It's got the 2 Coreys in it. Marketed the shit out of it. Warner Brothers, big summer blockbuster type shit. And then trailing behind 2 months later in October comes Near Dark, independently produced. Kathryn Bigelow's first solo directorial film. Who's Kathryn Bigelow? Previous to this, she had only directed The Loveless. She co-directed it with someone else. It's a cute little rockabilly movie with Willem Dafoe. We'll probably watch it eventually.
I watched the movie with Willem Dafoe this week too, but we can talk about that later.
What, The Lighthouse?
No, Spider-Man.
Oh. She follows it up with Near Dark, and then after that, she does a couple newer videos. So that's dope. And after that, she does Blue Steel, Point Break, Strange Days. And she gets some Oscar recognition for The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30, where she advocates torture. And then she
kind of advocated torture in this movie. Hi-oh.
Yeah, and then she made Detroit, which was very tone deaf. So can't win them all, Kathryn Bigelow.
The one thing that really bothers me about this movie in particular is it's one of those vampire movies that like tries to pretend that like vampires that no one knows about vampires before, right? No one mentions the word vampire in this entire movie.
Well, they don't interact with very many people. They don't straight up kill. So
I guess, but at the same time, you think like the dude would be like, "Yeah, Dad, I'm a vampire now," not like I'm sick.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't bother me too much at all. It's like whatever.
It bothers me. Like it's the same thing like in zombie movies are like, we can't say the Z word.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care because there's like barely any outside characters that interact with him except for his family. And his dad's like, "We'll take you to the hospital," and he's like, "The hospital ain't gonna fix this shit." Which is like
being a blood transfusion. That's obviously a solution to vampirism.
Yeah, that's pretty whack too. I don't like that. I don't know. I kind of wish the whole movie was just about Bill Paxton's character. I don't like our heroic shit kicker. He seems like a shitty piece of shit.
Bill Paxton just plays a weird ass dude in every 80s movie.
Well, this is the apex. This is the zenith of his like asshole, lovable asshole, bro guy that he was doing in every 80s movie. This is the peak of it, as he plays Severin. It's the ultimate Bill Paxton. Kathryn Bigelow, though, she's a very talented painter. She spent 2 years at the San Francisco Art Institute. At 20, she won a scholarship to the Whitney Museum's Independent Study Program, and she later earned a scholarship to study film at Columbia University School of Arts, graduating in 79. She was married to James Cameron for a little bit. Unfortunately, that's kind of like what she's most well known for, but that's how...
she had some nice things to say about him, too, didn't she?
Yeah, but the unfortunate thing is because of how our society is structured.
Yeah, because James Cameron...
Yeah, since he's a man, he's a famous man, she's only known for having been married to him for a couple of years. Well, no. He didn't really help her career or help her make any of her movies. I noticed even in some of the factoids on IMDb and stuff for this movie is people kind of trying to credit James Cameron for the cast of this movie, because she did take a section of the Aliens cast, right?
Bill Paxton, yeah.
Lance Henriksen,
yeah,
and Vasquez.
Yeah.
But people try to act as though James Cameron gave her the idea or whatever. No, it was just like circumstances of casting. And then she did eventually call James Cameron and was like, hey, I'm taking like part of your cast. Is it going to be
half
cool?
of it.
And he was like, let's date sometime after I get back from the ocean depths.
Let me tell you about the Titanic.
Yeah. So whatever. Yeah, people just constantly trying to take credit away from what she did. I mean, part of her credit is advocating for torture in the U.S. military. So whatever. But I mean,
James Cameron advocates for the U.S. military all the time.
Most film is very pro-military, unfortunately. A lot of military propaganda in the United States. She kind of met James Cameron while making this movie because of the cast, and he like came by and hung out and stuff, and then they hung out and got married for a while, and then she's like, he's crazy, and everyone else is out over time now. Everyone's like, yeah, he is kind of crazy. He doesn't seem.
Let's watch 14 more Avatar movies though.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be an evil man, just like a weirdo.
One. Well, yeah. A strange one.
Yeah. So this is her first solo directorial effort. Like I said, all she'd done previously was Loveless, which was co-directed with some other dude. The cool producer for this film, Near Dark, his name's Edward S. Feldman. He told her that if she couldn't handle or didn't know what she was doing while filming after 5 days, she would be replaced. Could you imagine him saying that to a male director?
It probably has been said to a male director, but
seems
I
pretty
get your
shitty.
point. Yeah, it's like a fucking terrible.
She'd already directed one movie, asshole.
Right.
Fucking dumb. And pile on top of that, she's the first woman to win the Directors Guild of America Award for Hurt Locker. 2010, she became the first woman in Oscar history to win Best Director for Hurt Locker. She's the first woman to win a BAFTA Award for Best Director. So, film. It's for the boys. Dudes rock.
Knows that.
Film Dudes rock. 2017, she was asked why she moved from the fine arts to feature films, and she's quoted as saying,
"That was like 30 years ago." Wow.
2017.
Yeah, well, I mean, like if you're asking that question, it's like she moved from the fine arts to feature film like a while ago.
Oh yeah, people didn't care about her opinions until she won Oscars and shit, though.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Point Break, come on.
Yeah, I know, which is weird. Point Break was a pretty big hit in the 80s, but, whatever. She's quoted as saying, "I knew film had the potential to cross all lines of culture and class. That excited me."
So I made Point Break.
No, she made Loveless first. Say what you will about Point Break. It's definitely...
it's fun as hell.
It's a good movie, yeah. I've watched several behind-the-scenes interviews and shit about Near Dark this week, and tons of stuff about Kathryn Bigelow, because I really didn't know too much about her before, because I am a victim of the misogynist culture we live in. She has fucking major queen of the scene kind of power, you know what I mean? Like, every dude is in love with her, and she just, like, fucking walks on...
Like, strong, like, Stevie Nicks energy?
Yeah, like, she's very powerful. Like, I'll listen to her talk about anything. Like, a lot of times it's like she doesn't... I don't know. She's just super intense. It's like fucking. I could see why like every director and producer back then was like, "Oh, I just want to be around her." Well, it's like, "Oh yeah, I get it, you fucking loser." So yeah, no, she's a very powerful human being. She has like intense energy. She's also like 6 feet tall, so that's badass.
Badass. I don't know. I try not to associate height with badassdom because it makes me feel like an asshole.
Yeah, but that's biology.
I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like a real prick.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty tall.
I don't know. It's just cool. She just seems like a cool lady. I'd hang out with her, despite her advocating torture.
I don't know. I don't like anybody that really advocates torture. That includes. I mean, John McCain didn't advocate torture.
Yeah, but he did advocate calling his wife a trollop. And a bunch of racist
a bunch of racist shit, a bunch of kind of vaguely straight up cowardly shit, some weird misogynist shit with his first wife. I don't know.
Yeah,
but not torture.
John McCain's a piece of shit. I don't care if he didn't advocate for torture. Everything else he believed in was fucking garbage. Fucking maverick. He's maverick and he's crashing airplanes everywhere and shit. Fucking loser. No, we already mentioned the cast. We got a lot of aliens people in here, but let's go over the cast because that's what we do in this podcast. First off, we got Adrian Pasdar, who plays Caleb, who's a shit-kicking hillbilly piece of shit main character. This movie is completely unrelatable to me because I just fucking don't like these fucking Peckerwood shit kickers from middle.
Yeah, where's this? Oklahoma, Texas?
Takes place in Oklahoma. It was filmed in Tucson though. Yeah,
it looks very Arizona.
Yeah, it looks like dirty ass parking lot in Tucson.
Which is probably where most of us are gonna die, judging where the COVID rates are going.
Yeah. So they were originally gonna film on location, but they like got rained out of Oklahoma, destroyed a bunch of sets and stuff. So then they filmed in Tucson because nothing was going on in Tucson. So Tucson was happy to have them. Adrian Pasdar, he's like a cutie kissy man. He doesn't seem like a cowboy. He seems like a cutie, like kissy boy.
You want to kiss him? That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, he's a young cutie little kissy boy. Yeah.
Well, not anymore. It's 2020.
No, not
wrinkly
anymore.
And pruny.
He's famously, I recognize him from Carlito's Way. He also does tons of voice acting for Marvel shit. I guess he's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something. I don't know. Also, apparently he was in Heroes. Remember, there was the one dude who was a politician that could fly or some shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's him.
I forgot about that.
He did get older and he's still kind of a handsome guy, but because of his hairline, he's not like so much of a cutie. That's what sucks for men. Not for me though, but a lot of men, the hairline gets fucked up and then they're not cuties anymore.
Well, I mean, like those dudes, like after a couple seasons of Heroes, he probably got that hairline fixed. He can be a cutie again.
Maybe. I don't know what he's up to. Well, it's also like he's short, so if he puts on like 15, 20 pounds, he just doesn't look good,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Getting back on the heightism again.
I mean, you got more space to store fat and muscle. That's all I'm saying about being tall. He does, however, have a movie an animated film that's in post-production. I couldn't find too much information on it, but it's called the Manson Brothers Midnight Zombie Massacre. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that. That sounds like something I'd be into.
Who are the Manson brothers?
Charles Manson and his imaginary brother, Dick Manson.
Ted Manson.
Yeah, that concludes our discussion of Adrian Pasdar until we talk more about the movie. Up next, we got Jenny Wright, who plays May. She's the template for every 90s girl, right? It's like My So-Called Life, Claire Danes kind of thing. Right? You see that? I see that through line. She's like every 90s.
Yeah.
She's like wayfish dream girl, right? She's a wilting flower, but actually she beat the shit out of you. She is very beautiful and very engaging and does a really good job in the movie. Before this, she was in Pink Floyd's The Wall, and she was in Twister, but not the Twister you're thinking of with Bill Paxton.
No, well, obviously, because that would be after this.
Correct. This is an 80s movie called Twister, which is directed by Michael Amaretta. It's got Harry Dean Stanton and Crispin Glover in it. We'll probably watch it.
Harry Dean Stanton and Crispin Glover.
That's right.
I gotta imagine that set was fucking nuts.
Double threat, unstoppable. And
did Harry Dean Stanton hit Crispin Glover with a bat? That's my question.
Crispin Glover drove him off with his karate kicks.
Yeah, you can't drive Harry Dean Stanton out with no fucking karate kicks.
Crispin Glover scared the shit out of David Letterman with his karate moves. David Letterman, he got all pussified by Crispin Glover. That's why his middle name's Hellion.
His middle name should be fucking asshole.
Now he rules.
Nah, I'll challenge you on that every time.
No, Crispin Glover rules. Most importantly, though, she is in Lawnmower Man.
Lawnmower
One of the greatest films of the 90s.
Another Stephen King story.
And to lean back into great women only being great because of the great men they're associated with, she was involved with Nicolas Cage for 2 years. So that's cool because Nicolas Cage always picks the coolest women.
You can't always. Everyone has a bad one.
Always.
I'm sure if I can go through Nicolas Cage dating history, there's a couple stinkers in there.
Nicolas Cage rules. He's never done anything
I mean, Nicolas
wrong.
Cage himself is like, if Nicolas Cage is in your dating history, I question you.
What? Nicolas Cage rules. He's got his own tomb.
I mean, I can have my own tomb if I'm rich enough. I don't want one, even if I am rich enough.
So, Jenny Wright...
I'm going to be cremated and scattered all over Disneyland. Not in like a fun way, but like on the tilt-a-whirl in people's faces.
That sucks.
That's my dream.
But Disneyland sucks.
Yeah, I don't care at that point.
I don't want to be laid to rest there.
I'm not. I'm already dead.
Jenny Wright quit the biz in 1998. She's quoted as saying, "I don't think acting is a very noble profession, but you can make money and travel. If you take care with it, you can get some things you're thinking across." I don't know. It's a very strange thing to do for a living.
That seems fair. But I mean, there's not really a whole lot of noble professions, really.
No, a lot of times you're just trying to get by. But there is that attitude in Hollywood and around filmmaking and stuff where acting is a noble
really
pursuit of the
thing,
arts.
Yeah. I know. I've seen the Oscars.
Yeah, and it is. It's
there's a certain extent it is, but you know.
Well, I think
guys.
I think it's a fine art form. I'm not questioning the art form of it, but the worldwide importance of it, I don't know. Storytelling has immense importance, but
I don't know that film is any more important than any other art form, and maybe less important than some.
I think film, in my opinion, film actually might be the most important modern art form just because it reaches the most people.
That's fair. I don't know. Television probably reaches more people.
I guess it does now, and then we got video games to worry about. But historically, the last 100 or so years, like film has been the most important art form, I think. But
video games are going to fuck us.
The video games are useless. All they do is copy films. They don't introduce new ideas, right?
No. There's a new idea in Last of Us Part 14 that's coming up.
I don't think so. Apparently, the whole message is that violence is bad, but you're constantly forced to perpetuate violence in the game because it's a video game. So, what was the fucking point? Why'd you make the fucking game?
I feel like Metal Gear Solid already did a kind of good idea.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid kind of already covered most of the nuclear disarmament, war is bad, the nature of evil, all sorts of stuff. It's just a little bit too much dialogue, a little bit too grandiose of a message for most people. Here's the fact I got from IMDb that reads thusly: future husband James Cameron suggested to Bigelow that that she use the ready-made ensemble cast from recent hit Aliens, and thus Lance Henriksen, Bill Paxton, and Jeanette Goldstein all appear in Bigelow's film. That's all bullshit. Here's what happened. Bill Paxton was her first choice for Severin in the film. He got the script first. Tried out, got the job. He talked to Lance Henriksen about it. Lance Henriksen was interested in it. And then Bigelow was struck with the idea. She's like, oh, what if I get Lance and Jeanette Goldstein, since they do already have built-in camaraderie from all being in Aliens and filming that together for months. I'll just bring them all in and see how it goes. I ended up casting all of them, and then she contacted James Cameron to see if he was cool with it. It's not James Cameron's idea.
No, IMDb said it was, and you know it is because James Cameron has a penis.
No, Kathryn Bigelow did it on her own. Michael Biehn was also offered a role. He was going to play Jesse Hooker, which is Lance Henriksen's character, but he found the script confusing. which is weird because it's not that complex.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, I don't know. It's confusing. It's just like it's kind of a mess at the end. Like every lot of films, third act's a little bit of a mess.
Well, so who are the cool guys we got from? Thanks to James Cameron, we got Lance Henriksen, who's Jesse Hooker. Lance Henriksen, you guys know him. He's one of the great like villains of all time. He's super intense. He's got a cool voice, and I don't know. He's Lance Henriksen. You know what I mean? He does. He's got
a very distinct face and voice. If you don't recognize him, you may not know his name, but you recognize him.
Yeah, he's one of those. Though it's that guy. Then we got Bill Paxton, who plays Severin, the Pax Man. Rest in peace. Like I said, this is the apex of like the good old boy asshole charisma that he has in all of his movies in the 80s, right? Starting off with like Weird Science and Aliens. You know, he's always just kind of like charismatic asshole, real bro-y kind of guy. This is like the apex role for his 80s career, I think, is this in Severin. Severin is the pinnacle of Bill Paxton's.
You can't get any more Paxton than Severin.
Yeah.
You can tell too because he really doesn't do that role again after this.
No, yeah, this is kind of like the capstone on his 80s career. I feel like he was like, all right, done with that.
Took it Twister now. See you guys.
Yeah, took it to a logical conclusion. And that's it.
I'm gonna make a TV show about sister wives. It's gonna be great.
It's called Big Love.
I think that's what it was called. I never saw it. Was it good? Mom watched it, right?
I don't know. I don't watch TV shows. They're trash. You can't tell a story in 1.5 hours to 3 hours, then you're not a very good storyteller. Severin's the best character in the movie. Hands down. No one else should even be in the movie. It should just be Bill Paxton as Severin.
It's just this is called the Severin Show with Bill Paxton.
Also, Severin, of course, just always reminds me of Venus and Furs, the Iraq novel by Leopold von Sacher-Masoch, which Masochism is his name is the inspiration for Masochism. It's a good book. Check it out. There's also a Velvet Underground song about the book called Venus and Furs. It's pretty good. You should check that out. I don't know what the connection is with him being called Severin and the character of Severin in Venus and Furs, but you know, it's just a spooky name, I guess. I think it's just a spooky name. And then we got Jeanette Goldstein, who plays Diamondback. She is, of course, Vasquez, a frequent James Cameron collaborator. We mentioned this in the Aliens episode. She is not Latinx or Chicano, so
a little weird.
You get to watch Aliens now with a little bit of a skew of Vasquez, where you're like, it's kind of offensive.
Yeah.
And then rounding out our vampires, we have the little boy vampire, Joshua.
Go ahead. Sorry.
There's Joshua John Miller, Homer.
There's always a fucking little kid vampire in these things.
I think this might have been a novel idea when they did it in this.
No, it was the Interview in the Vampire came out like 1976.
The book?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's reading that fucking goth fucking masturbation shit.
Bullshit. There were tons of people read that.
Oh. Interesting.
That shit was popular. I mean, not like every generation has its own like vampire shit. It seems like.
Okay, well, anyways, we saw him already in Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. He's the kid that his head gets melted into bugs.
I wish his head got melted into bugs in this one.
And then, most famously, he is the younger brother Richie in Teen Witch. We probably will not ever watch Teen Witch, despite it being a bad 80s movie, just because it is like such a meme now. I feel like there's like not really anything interesting to talk about.
Wait, I don't remember Teen Witch at all. How's it go?
It's just check it out. It's just a really bad 80s movie.
I'm sure I've seen it.
The internet turned into a meme over the last few years. Yeah, so he's famous for being the weird ass little brother in Teen Witch. And then he grew up to be an adult who wrote a screenplay for a film called Final Girls, which is actually a pretty cute little meta horror movie. So everyone check that out. And rounding out the most important information of the film, Near Dark is the 32nd major release and 10th soundtrack album from Tangerine Dream.
Oh, you can hear it.
They did it. They're still hanging in. And a special shout out to the Cramps cover of Fever, which plays during the barroom murder. I've been drinking. I'm just getting into my second 40 of the evening. It's making me feel real slow.
You do sound a little slow, I think. I don't know how I feel or sound. I've had several drinks at this point. I don't. I've had two. Wait, no. Like three like coffee beers, 2 beers, and then like a couple rum and cokes.
You Damn, you can be fucked up. You can be fucked up.
I don't feel that bad.
Oh,
I feel like there's a point where I just stop functioning, and until then, I feel pretty normal. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
No, it's a bad thing. That's how I used to like black out and get in fights and do crazy shit.
Yeah, but I never really got in a fight or anything when I was drunk.
Yeah, but you just only got drunk at home and stuff. You got to go out into the world, experience. You go interact with other people, and you'll get in plenty of fights.
I mean, it's been. I that's granted. Like it's been like 10 years since I went out and drank anywhere.
Not me, man. I was out there on the streets as much as I could, interacting, fighting dudes for grabbing my girlfriends and my girl space friends and stuff. That's usually the big instigating factor for fights is someone like hassling one of the girls.
I do remember like one of the last times I went out was with Court's birthday, and one of her friends was with us. And as we were walking out, some dude grabbed her, and I was ready to punch him in the face. And then he pulled out a badge. Like he was trying to check her to see if she was actually overage.
Oh,
but he was a really tiny guy. He almost got punched in the face.
He almost killed the cop.
Yeah, well, he would have been dead before I found out. So,
like, hey, you know what? Nothing I could have done about it.
I would have been gone by the time the other cops got there.
Yeah. Why
hang around after I punch a guy in the face?
And they'd be like, "Why'd you take his ear?" Well, for my ear necklace, obviously. I have a lot in common with Severin, I guess. I'd be taking ears. If I was a vampire, I'd be taking
did he take ears? I don't remember him taking ears.
Nah, but if I was a vampire, I'd be taking ears. You know the most
so
annoying...
you don't have a lot in common with Severin.
You know the most annoying thing about this movie, watching it, it doesn't happen until like more than halfway through, but Severin gives one of his spurs to fucking shit kicker.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, man, how are you gonna walk around with one spur on? Like made the back of my mind like itch the whole rest of the movie.
If you want my honest opinion, it's 1987. How are you gonna walk around with 2 spurs on? Because
that's badass. I was thinking about getting spurs for some of my boots.
You're a fucking shit kicker.
Hell yeah, man! I'm getting spurs, man. I don't fuck around. I'm Antifa super soldier. Sharpen them shits.
Yeah, when I think anti-fascist, I definitely think spurs.
Yeah, caballeros. The original cowboys. Original cowboys, man. Just out here doing
the original cowboy, the Spanish cowboys with their spurs. The original cowboys are definitely fascists.
Shit, there's got to be.
They killed some.
There's got to be plenty of people wearing spurs that were working in the mines, and they started unions.
No, spurs were for horses. When you owned a horse and you wanted to go really fast, and you were mean to it.
No, spurs are for when you're badass, like me. I don't know.
I want to make my horse go fast because it likes me a lot, not because I dig my nasty ass spurs into its flanks.
I don't really want to ride a horse. I don't. Horses are.
I don't trust horses.
Yeah, honestly,
horses are too close to cops.
Honestly, I don't trust horses. They're like too powerful. I don't think it's like not safe to be around them, in my opinion.
The pony's about as big as I want to go.
Yeah, horses are just that animal's too powerful.
A small mule.
No problems with horses. Like, absolutely let them run free and be wild animals and stuff. It's just like, I don't think you should hang around with horses and ride them and stuff. That's like that. If a horse is wisened up a little bit, they'd be killing people left and right.
You would think that. You think so. But then elephants are way smarter than horses, and they're not killing people left and right. Every once in a while, or elephants like, I'm going to stomp the shit out of this motherfucker.
Yeah, but it's
really
we don't subjugate elephants on the mass level we do with horses, right? The elephants.
Well, not in like this country, but in like it's even not as bad as it used to be in like India, but still.
Yeah, but those are the places where they have rampaging elephants because elephants
that's
too far. That's because elephants are pretty tolerant of humans. They think humans are pretty cool. You know, humans aren't much of a threat to them, but push an elephant to the limit, they'll fuck you up. Horses are just like, man, we're all enslaved, and I guess we love it. It's like, no, your horses, get it together. You can like kick through 10 people.
Yeah, but you just give a horse an apple and he's your best friend.
Speaking of horses, big powerful horses, like I said, 2 months previous to this, Lost Boys had been released, which is of course a fucking blockbuster, made tons of money, everybody loved it. Near Dark came out 2 months later. They didn't know how to market it. It wasn't a major distribution company or major production or anything. So
straight up just market it as another Lost Boys. You fucking idiots.
Didn't have enough time.
What do you
Can't
mean?
have a 2-month turnaround for marketing. The marketing was probably decided.
Oh, that's fair. I guess, yeah. I mean, it was probably set. They're probably marketing when Lost Boys was in the theaters. But still, try. Oof. Oh, well.
Yeah, so Near Dark is the real cult film version of 80s vampire movies, right? Everyone knows Lost Boys. It's part of like the mainstream zeitgeist. Near Dark is the cult counterpart, I would say. It has recently, in like the last 10, 15, 20 years or so, it has been reestablished. Like many more people know about this movie now from like the last 15 years or so. In fact, I don't think I watched it until I was a teenager, because it was starting to like get word of mouth on the internet. So it has been a bit revitalized. So that's
Internet's been great for a lot of that, for a lot of those old movies, really.
No, I'd say not really. Most of the movies that the internet thrust to the forefront like actually aren't very good. They're just kind of dumb nerd shit.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I guess if you pay attention to like the mainstream internet shit, but if you go in and like actually search out some of like the like weird internet communities, you'll get some good recommendations there.
Yeah, but that's the same thing as reading like independent zines and shit back in the day.
Yeah, I just mean like it's a lot easier than it used to be.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. They're just people on the internet are always trying to act like Event Horizon is a good movie or some shit. It's like, no, it's not, you fucking idiots.
That's like a Mystery Science Theater movie, and I knew that when the first time I saw it. It's got Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, it sucks. It's also got Sam Neill.
Sam Neill, yeah, that weird New Zealander, that Hobbit.
It sucks. So both Lost Boys and this film feature son of Jason Miller. Famously, he plays the father in the priest in Exorcist, the younger priest. I forget what his name is now. That's Jason
Father
Miller.
O'Leary.
No, he's got a more Spanish name because he's Portuguese. Yeah, so Jason Miller, that's the dude in The Exorcist. Both of these movies have one of his sons in it. So in Near Dark, Joshua John Miller, Homer, is his son. And of course, Jason Patrick in Lost Boys is his son as well. So that's interesting. That's an interesting connection, I suppose.
It's one of those, what the fuck did he call it in fucking Watchmen today? I thought was so stupid. Wasn't it in the original thermodynamic connection or some shit?
It's I don't know what they call it in Watchmen. Watchmen's overly verbose nerd shit because Damon Lindelof made it, but generally you would call it like a synchronicity.
The one thing I noticed is like the fucking Damon Lindelof is just fucking puzzle boxes everywhere.
Yeah, correct. He doesn't know how to write a compelling story or interesting characters. And Watchmen ends up being pro-cop propaganda. So fuck it. Watchmen can suck a dick. Not the
original Watchmen was pretty pro-cop. I remember very well.
Yeah. That anarchist Alan Moore loves the police. So here's a little background on the movie real quick. When Bigelow and co-writer Eric Red found financial backing for a Western too difficult to obtain, it was
oh man, they had was this going to be a Western vampire, or was it just a completely different story?
This movie is a Western.
I know, but I mean, was it? Never mind. Go ahead.
I'll finish.
Was it actually set in like the Wild West?
No, it was modern Western still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Proceed.
It was difficult to obtain, so it suggested that they try mixing a Western with another more popular genre. And then Bigelow's interest in revisionist interpretation of cinematic tradition led her to combine two genres that they regarded as ripe for reinterpretation, the Western movie and the vampire movie. This is in 1987, making a serious vampire movie. As many vampire movies that came out in the 80s, making a serious vampire movie actually kind of was a bit of an anomaly. Because other than this movie, The Lost Boys is probably the most serious of the vampire movies in the 80s. Maybe Fright Night, but those are still basically like almost teenage boner comedies.
There's Monster Squad. What are you talking about?
Monster Squad is fucking the worst. I don't even want to think about that movie. Last night I was just watching random shit on Amazon while I was doing other stuff, and I watched the Toxic Avenger and Toxic Avenger Part 2. Mm-hmm. Then I watched Tank Girl. For some reason, it recommended Monster Squad after that, and I was like, I don't think so, buddy.
I don't know that I considered like I wouldn't go from Tank Girl to Monster Squad. That's for sure.
Maybe Monster Squad is a recommendation on Toxic Avenger, but either way, it was incongruous. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, Toxic Avenger Part 2, love that independent, low budget, ultra violent titty movie. Oh yeah, Monster Squad, just like it. There's like speaking of Tank Girl, there's still some like pretty erotic stuff in Tank Girl, but in like a really tame mainstream way. I'm intrigued by how they not how they got away with it, because it's still safe, like I said, but it's intriguing to me that I don't know, it's just an interesting use of sexuality in the film in a very safe way that I can't think of too many other examples that did it. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Also, I just love Tank Girl in general, not the movie so much, but the concept of Tank Girl, the comics and stuff. And then Lori Petty as Tank Girl is like an early sexual icon from my childhood. So it was nice to revisit it and see her panties and stuff.
That's what I'm into. Those panty shots.
Mm-hmm.
HBO helped play Tank Girl a lot. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, it's just,
I feel like honestly, years after Tank Girl came out.
Oh yeah, it was like 2008. They were playing Tank Girl and shit on HBO. But it's like that Magnetic Field song, right? It was a pretty girl in her underwear. I don't remember what the rest of the lyrics are, but it's basically about pretty girls in the underwear are great. Written by a gay man, by the way. Even he knew. Actually, I think the song's just underwear, and it goes over pretty boys in the underwear, too. So it's a song for everybody.
It's for the people. And people in underwear specifically.
There's two specific musical icons that are for the people. Right, and it's Wu-Tang and Magnetic Fields. Speaking of spooky boogans, vampire mythology in the film is left deliberately vague. It was never seen if they cast reflections in a mirror or if they are affected by holy objects, roses, garlic, running water, etc.
They aren't even called vampires.
But it is seen that they are extremely strong, non-aging, surviving on human blood, cold to the touch, destroyed by sunlight and fire, but cannot be killed by most conventional methods. No one tried to stake him in the heart, though, so we just don't know.
Yeah. Cut off the head, though, seems to work, because he was going to do it.
Yeah.
Paxton was going to do it.
Mm-hmm. He said, it's not what's going on, what's going off. Your face. I think you're looking good. Fucking Bill Paxton's fucking amazing in this movie. Before it became a cult favorite, the film had a showing at New York's Museum of Modern Art with Kathryn Bigelow in attendance. This was as recently as like 2006. So my like time frame of it not becoming.
Do you hear my neighbor's dogs yelling at each other?
Oh, is that a dog?
Yeah, that.
Oh, that's not what I heard. To me, it sounded like one of your kids running through the hall, going like, ah.
No, there's two dogs. They're not in the same yard, and they constantly yell at each other. One's like a husky, so it's like, and the other is a normal dog, so it just barks.
A normal dog. According to Kathryn Bigelow, one ending considered was for Caleb's younger sister Sarah to follow him in May into the sunlight, only for her hand to start burning, implying she was bitten by Homer during her abduction and is now infected. However, this was eventually dropped as it would have had little impact given she could be easily cured via...
Yeah, like that would mean nothing.
Yeah, well, it already... vampirism already is just kind of completely pointless in this film.
Yeah, it's so easy to cure.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if they told them like, hey guys, can we cure you? Like, do you want to be cured? No. It just makes, I don't know, it seems so pointless to me. But whatever.
Yeah, we'll get into all the problems I have with this movie in a second. Near Dark received mostly positive reviews for its mix of the Western and vampire movie genres. Still has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. A lot of that must have to do with retroactive viewing, I would assume, though. Near Dark is at once a creepy vampire film, a thrilling Western, and a poignant family tale with humor and scares in abundance.
I don't know about humor.
Or scares, in my opinion.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, I get that.
Plenty of violence.
I was really trying to be nice about giving it to him.
Plenty of violence in it, but if you don't find violence particularly scary, it's not really scary. And then Peter Travers of Rolling Stone said, gory and gorgeous. This is absolutely put this on the cover of the DVD. He is right about that, though. It is shot very, very well. The cinematography is amazing. The practical effects are really good. It's a nice little gore movie. Everything looks really good. It's got a good vibe to it, good soundtrack. The performances are good. It's just like not a very good story.
Yeah, it's just a mess.
Well, it's just like so simple and pointless.
And they kind of stretch it out. Like, how many times is this fucking sister going to be kidnapped?
Yeah, and I don't understand. I think the movie would have been much more interesting if they didn't cross paths with his family at all, and it was just a movie about him being pulled away from whatever his.
Yeah, like maybe they come close to each other. They completely miss each other at that hotel. You know what I mean?
I just mean like we don't ever see his family again after he gets abducted.
Like I kind of like that idea. He's like
humanity.
searching for him, and they just kind of move. You know, and they miss each other, and they.
Well, yeah, but what's the actual moral conflict in the movie though? With I got to get back to my family. Okay, understandable, but also he doesn't want to kill or be a vampire anyways. So there's like nothing keeping him there. He could just get a couple bucks and catch the bus. He's only $3 short. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, and then
it's like it is the whole time. I'm like, why is any of this happening?
Yeah, it's just dumb as shit. And then also Lance Henriksen is really, really good in the movie. I love him. I love the character he portrays, but he is fucking the absolute shittiest like leader. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't give any incentive for our Caleb to want to fall in line or follow him, or you know what I mean? There's like nothing. It's just, I hate people that you see it a lot in like every fucking job you've had. I'm sure listeners, the people that usually are like middle management and stuff have no actual charisma or like talent, or there's nothing interesting about them that gives them the leadership position. So they just fall back onto like being kind of like uselessly cruel in any way they can be to like somehow secure the power, or because they think that's how you're supposed to act or whatever.
It's either uselessly cruel if you're not talented. It's either you're uselessly cruel or like you just constantly adhere to the rules.
Yeah, and that's his Hooker's character is like that as well, where he's just needlessly cruel. I could see him being maybe like not. He's a vampire, right? They're undead. They're supposed to be evil creatures or whatever. I get that, but like they're also supposed to be like seductive and manipulative and stuff. So he could be duplicitous and actually be that cruel in the end. But he's just like so straight up bloodthirsty and shitty to Caleb and everyone around him, where it's like, why the fuck would anyone ever follow this guy? He's like ripe to be usurped. If I was in Caleb's position, I'd be like, I'm fucking taking over.
You say that, but at the same time, look who's president right now.
But that's the consequence of the society we've arranged and allowing people with money and things like that to have too much power to exist on a level where they can achieve for more power, et cetera, et cetera. Well, when it comes to like face-to-face direct interaction, like in small groups like this, especially when there's no formal arrangement or anything like that, like fucking. No way I'm gonna stand for Jesse Hooker to have any authority over me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, right, fucking old man. I'm in charge now, bitch. So what the fuck you think you're doing?
Well, you haven't been drinking any blood. You know, he's an old vampire. He's got all that kind of. He's got all these followers lining up after him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the other problem with Caleb though, is he just fucking sucks. So even starting off as when he's a human, he's a fucking overreaching creep to May.
Yeah, that was weird.
The big problem I had with this movie, I guess, is probably because I started watching it several times and like falling asleep because I was watching it at inopportune times. So I watched the opening 15 minutes like 4 times. And so it really locked into my brain like how fucking overly familiar and handsy and shitty he was to May, like in the beginning of the film, where I was like, this is a fucking piece of shit. I like have nothing in common with this fucking shit kicking Peckerwood. So I didn't like him. So then watching the rest of the movie, I was like, yeah, fucking Severin, take his fucking face off. Fuck this kid. I guess I didn't get the right message from the movie, but that's what they get for... I mean, unfortunately, I'm sure this was a daily reality, and I know it's not much better for women in the Western world now or worldwide, but it's just so like commonplace for him to be like all over her and shit and be in the movie. I was like, man, fuck this dude. Like, fuck, this is the hero. This guy's a piece of shit, man. I'd fuck him up.
The 1980s. That's your hero, man.
Yeah. So it's right off.
Not everyone can be Big Heck.
Yeah, so right off the bat, I'm just like, fucking, I don't like this dude. I don't give a fuck about this shit kicker. He's wearing a cowboy hat and a fucking suede jacket. He's got a shitty truck. He's like overly aggressive with women. I don't know. He's just fucking hillbilly Peckerwood. I don't give a fuck. So as soon as like the vampires show up, I'm like, yeah, fucking tear this fool apart. Obviously, the vampires aren't really any better.
It turns out the vampires are only slightly better.
Well, one of them is a fucking Confederate. So
yeah. I fought for the South.
We lost.
And we keep losing every year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of scholarly writings about this film in the last few years, about how it actually has to do with poverty and the poor whites that are really like sucking, the blood of the working class of the South and stuff like that. I could see you extrapolating those ideas from the movie. Like, there's elements of that stuff in there, but that's just because of how they're depicting Oklahoma. But that's not in the fucking movie. They just wanted to make a Western movie. They couldn't get funding, so they threw vampires into it.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, that's real. You're really reaching for that one.
Well, I mean, the poverty is depicted in the film, but that's just because they're giving a representation of what Oklahoma's like.
Yeah, Oklahoma's not our richest state.
Yeah, it's an impoverished place. I mean, in my opinion, if you're going to make any film set in the United States, generally 90% of the time, it should be a reflection of poverty because that's how most people live anyways. But, that's just not what you get anymore. Everyone's fucking living in New York, has vague jobs in advertising.
I'm a graphic novelist, part-time, and my wife is, she makes dog costumes.
Yeah, it's fucking weird that everyone's so afraid to depict poverty at all. Depict reality. It's fucking the weirdest shit. So I that's all weird extrapolation that people have come up with. He's the only reason he's a Confederate is because that's a backstory that Lance Henriksen made up for his character for motivation, and he happened to tell Kathryn Bigelow about, and she's like, oh yeah, we can throw that in.
I'll throw it in.
Yeah, it's not paramount to the story. The story is just like a shitty love story. And when it comes down to it, the important question we have to ask ourselves after watching Near Dark, and I don't mean to shit on it too much, I really fucking love the way the movie looks. Soundtrack's good. Bill Paxton's great. It is a cool, like, fun little violent movie. But the real question we got to ask ourselves is what's better? And you mentioned at the top of the episode, is it Lost Boys or Near Dark? And it's fucking Lost Boys. It's in Santa Cruz.
100%. There's no question. Any movie that has the Big Dipper in it is obviously better.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. It's probably nostalgia or whatever. This movie's absolutely shot better, but fucking, it's Lost Boys. Lost Boys is a better movie.
There's a crazy sax man, and there's like a flaming trash can, and he's glistening. I don't know how you can say that this movie 100% is shot better. I think it's more up in the air than you're giving it.
I mean, so this movie has like
well, honestly, the flying scenes in Lost Boys, those are shot really well.
I mean, there's aerial shots like sped up a little bit. Those are fine. This movie's cinematography is way better. There's also that very erotic scene where he's drinking May's blood while we also get to see the oil derelicts like penetrating the earth and stuff, and it's like ooh, like this eroticism, which you don't get much of that in Lost Boys. But aside from that sort of thing, Lost Boys wins because I mean the saxophone guy is buff as fuck. So I honestly like Lost Boys more just because I saw it when I was younger, so it's nostalgia. It's in Santa Cruz, so it's like super nostalgia because that's like the summer spot for where we grew up. Like if we were summertime, we were gonna leave fucking the hood like twice. It was gonna be go to Santa Cruz and go to the lake a handful of times, right? So Santa Cruz holds a very special place in my heart and my memory. And fucking the movie's filmed there. Killer Clowns from Outer Space also filmed in the Santa Cruz Mountains, but it doesn't have the boardwalk and shit, so it's not exactly the same. Lost Boys, fucking, it's got it. So The takeaway from this episode is watch Near Dark, but then right afterwards watch Lost Boys, because that's what I did. Like after I finished it finally Wednesday or something, I think I was like, you know what, this movie just makes me want to watch Lost Boys. And so I did.
You know, it's not like a great like recommendation for a movie. It's just, it's like, oh yeah, I want to watch something else now.
Here's the thing: is Near Dark is, I think, technically a much better movie, and it does have elements in it that I should like much more than Lost Boys. Like I can look at Near Dark and be like, this is a movie that I definitely should like more than Lost Boys. Problem is, I saw Lost Boys when I was young, and it's Santa Cruz. Like it's like, nah, it's not gonna change. It's too late. There's a Tiger Army song about it. Like you know, this is how it is.
I'm gonna listen to that Tiger Army song more time.
Yeah, this is how it happens to be. That's just those are the rules.
Like I don't make the rules, but that's just how it is.
Well, it's like the same time I can intellectualize like a lot of the like emotional and different like problems and eccentricities and shits that I have, but I can intellectualize like why I do it and possible reasons to stop. But it's also like part of my innate being, so I'm just kind of like, nah, fuck it. That's the same thing with these two movies. Yeah, I mean,
standing about Santa Carla, damn vampires.
Yeah, and I know like Lost Boys is like a hella white movie, but like
this movie's hella white. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, hold on. There's an argument I'm about to make that doesn't include this movie will be juxtaposed against it, but Santa Cruz is not a hella white place. Santa Cruz is like chill ass, like fucking cool ass, like South Bay little town on the ocean. Like that's real shit, real place. Lost Boys depicts as like a super like white suburban place, but in my life, it kind of is.
I mean, like I'm sure redlining kept a lot of black people off the coast of Santa Cruz.
I don't know. That's the first time like you ever saw like fucking goth cholos and stuff.
That's true, but
yeah. So like I don't know. I feel like Santa Cruz has got some real blood, some real fucking teeth to it. Some real vampire shit. So that's real, and then it's relatable to me. And then I go and watch Near Dark, and it's like, man, I don't give a fuck about these dusty ass fucking crackers. I know, which is not like a.
I feel like I'm gonna talk about the end of this fucking movie. I cannot understand why this motherfucker's like, you know what my plan is? I got my sister back. I'm gonna fucking walk home.
Well, the thing too is when May shows up in his front yard, and he's like hella psyched to see her and shit, and. If I saw her, I'd immediately be like, we gotta get fucking ready. We're gonna have to kill these motherfuckers.
Yeah, because if she's there, then like the whole fucking clan's there.
Yeah. In addition to that, to go back to fucking Jesse Hooker being the stupidest motherfucker alive as far as vampires go. After they get away and shit, what's his reasoning for coming back? I understand like fucking revenge or whatever, but they don't.
But this motherfucker's not after you. If you just left him alone, he would leave you alone.
Exactly. And like, it's not like they have like a great plan to get him. Also, why does it seem like they all their plans of attack take place like half an hour before sunrise?
Right? Like you think you would plan it better?
You got like fucking 12 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, why you hang out in Oklahoma anyways? It's not a good vampire territory. Minnesota,
Santa Cruz. They wouldn't fit in Santa Cruz though. The people would be like, "Who the fuck are these guys?" Fought for the South. Oh, you're in the wrong neighborhood, Holmes.
You can go to Central Valley with that shit.
Well, yeah, Orange County, right? That's where all the weirdos are at.
Nah, I'm thinking like more like
Huntington,
Inland Empire, yeah,
Valencia.
Even more like the fucking rural farm towns you drive through, where it's like there's a Best Western, McDonald's, and then 20,000 farms.
You're talking like Quartzsite and stuff?
Yeah, like Irvine.
Oh, I've never. I guess I've only ever driven through that. You've driven
through. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what people are like there.
They have some Confederate flags out there, I guarantee.
Yeah, I mean there's parts of Central Southern California and up in the mountains in Northern California that. Well, up in the mountains, Northern California is a different breed, but in Central and Southern California, there's some dusty cracker plains, if you will.
I remember when we grew up in Northern California having some very low opinions of some of like the people that live in Southern California.
Well, that's the conflict in California, right? Is the Bay Area especially doesn't like Southern California.
I'm sure 100% that's changed with all these fucking tech bros, but.
Well, yeah, they're not the Bay Area though. They're
They are now.
They're gentrifiers. They're outsiders. They're the reason why probably
We'll never be back in the town we grew up in or the place we were born.
Yeah, they're the reason why I'm sure no one we knew growing up lives in that area anymore. Can't afford that shit. It's like when you roll through the Google Street View and you're like, what are all these white people doing there?
They still have some black air places.
Yeah. It's just weird. Fucking weird. It's, I mean, probably better than Oklahoma, though. Oh, what's Oklahoma got? They got tornadoes and shit. And they got ranches. What are they ranching in Oklahoma?
Cattle, right?
I guess, yeah, because there's big open plains and stuff, right?
Oklahoma, where the wind goes sweeping down the plains.
Yeah, okay.
Grapes of Wrath, too. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, so it's unrelatable. I don't get it.
What, the Grapes of Wrath?
No, this movie Near Dark.
Oh.
And then also, I could easily be a vampire. They turn me into a vampire. Like, yeah, I wouldn't have bitten the truck driver either, right? There's no reason to bite that.
Oh, dude. No. Also, that was my favorite part, too, is the Chekhov's
they're setting
truck
it up
driving
there.
instructions. Yeah,
but he's teaching him how not to jackknife the truck. It doesn't automatically turn it into a bomb. That's how the movie ends, is the truck explodes because he didn't brake correctly, right? Well, that's not what happens. It's just the truck crashes.
Well, I mean, no, it was a gas truck. So, when gas trucks crash, they explode. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
That's why they're so dangerous.
I guess they have the potential to explode, but...
Yeah, they do. But that, I mean, like, if it was that easy, they wouldn't let them drive on the fucking road.
Well, yeah. And also, then it would be that easy to accidentally blow up your car at the pump.
Right?
Oh, no, I accidentally kicked some fuel. Yeah. But that's movies for you. That's just a movie thing. I can't hold that against.
I mean, she kind of does the same thing with Point Break too. If you think about it.
Which part?
Don't they squirt gas with like a cigarette at one point, which I think is impossible?
Oh yeah, because it would just put out the cigarette. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Point Break. I guess we'll probably watch it eventually though.
Isn't that a 90s movie?
Yeah, but it's like early enough that I'm sure we'll get to it.
I mean, I don't care. I like Keanu. I like.
Well, I think when it comes to the late 70s and early 90s, it's just movies that were sort of formative in our viewing experience anyways, which Point Break was. So.
We're getting looser and looser with this idea.
This podcast is going for 30 years or so until one of us dies, so we're going to have to fill it in.
I'm glad you think we're going to only make it 30 years.
Oh, yeah, I guess the life expectancy is going down for our economic bracket. So, I don't know, 25, 30 years, we'll say.
The only thing I'm happy about is that the Zoomers are probably going to die even earlier.
Why is that?
Because if life expectancy is going down, their life expectancy, I just mean like they'll
right.
probably
in the long run.
I'll probably die first, but in the long run, I'll have a longer lifespan.
That'll get them, yeah.
Fuckers.
Yeah, it's fun to think about the total.
I saw someone post on TikTok. Yeah. Is Harry Potter like a big millennial thing? I was in high school when Harry Potter came out. We took our to see the first Harry Potter movie. He was like 6.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
So I am technically the exact like age bracket for Harry Potter. Like the first novel came out, Harry's 11 in it, and I was 11 when it came out, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think you read it.
No, I was reading Lord of the Rings and shit. If in comparative fantasy, or maybe like, well, I was definitely reading Lord of the Rings at the time, but I don't know what else I was reading. But like, it was too juvenile for me already at 11. So it didn't. I was clowning on it at 11, as most 11-year-olds were at the time. To be honest, I don't remember anyone like.
I don't remember any. Definitely no one in my age bracket was reading it.
Yeah, so it's like a younger millennial, I think, that's hella into Harry Potter. But even beyond that, I feel like over the last like decade or so, a lot of people have come to terms with or come to realize that Harry Potter is not exactly a great work of fiction, and then also J.K. Rowling has done the shit she's done to show that she's a piece of shit. So a lot of people, it's fallen out of favor. But if you're talking about like the TikToks where the assumers are making fun of millennials, it's, you know, they're just taking easy pot shots.
No, that one in particular, I was just like, I don't get it.
Well, a lot of the stuff I've seen for it is like, well, I'm not like a mainstream liberal.
Because I 100% would have pegged Zoomers as the Harry Potter crowd. Like everybody my son's age has read those fucking books.
Oh no, I think Harry Potter's
and older. And I like
thing.
Chad and Shane and I don't know. They feel like this seems like
those are all millennials.
Chad is at was the last one. Shane is not a millennial. I think he's definitely a Zoomer.
No, because it's like all the way up till 99.
I think it's 96, isn't it?
No,
I don't know. The fucking age brackets are dumb as shit anyway.
It doesn't matter. The whole thing is no. Harry Potter is definitely a millennial thing.
Whatever. I don't get it.
Well, they're just taking like easy pot shots, which is what people do with other people in general. I don't have a problem with it though, because like I said, it's like a lot of really like upper middle class liberal white people bullshit that they're making fun of, which doesn't apply to me, so I don't give a fuck. I'll see him in there clowning on Danny Brown or whatever, so I'm good. Oh, millennials are just out here listening to Danny Brown taking Molly and eating ass, those losers. Like, if they did that, then it would be applicable to me. But at this point, so far,
they did call millennials alcoholics, so I just think that definitely applies to you.
Well, now they're talking about like wine moms and shit, though. I'm like a legit alcoholic.
No, you've drank way more wine than I have. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, all the wine is off for me. They're talking about like wine moms who like make memes about drinking wine. And
yeah, no, I get it.
I don't know. I'm a legit alcoholic where it's gonna ruin my life. That's the tale of all this time. Doesn't have to be due to the millennial. That's generational pain. I'm an alcoholic because my forefathers were an alcoholic.
Genetic memory.
Yeah, it's part and parcel. So things like, oh yeah, because they're making fun of mainstream culture, which I am. Every episode of this podcast, we've talked about how I'm opposed to mainstream culture, and I think it's all entirely too dogmatic and creates groupthink and turns people into easy consumer cogs, or I mean, it turns people into consumers you can be easily sold to if you're part of the mainstream. And that's
by the way, we got some supplements to sell you and shit.
Yeah. If we had advertisers, that's where we drop them in now.
I mean, we had the offers, so I definitely had supplement offers.
Yeah, but it's weird shit. It's weird shit.
It's all weird shit. None of it's legitimate. Like fucking Joe Rogan out there. You think Joe Rogan's out there hawking legitimate supplements? No.
Oh, well, no, obviously not, because he doesn't know anything. I like someone presented the case that Joe Rogan's like a caveman with a lot of power who like brings in scientists and magicians and be like, explain to Joe how sun work. Explain now.
It's almost like that Insane Clown Posse fucking miracle song.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe Rogan. Oh, jeez. I mean, it's definitely overblown, like how big of a threat his podcast is to culture or whatever, but it is also just like, he's so fucking stupid. It's funny that so many people...
Yeah, on one hand, it's kind of overblown. On the other hand, it's like, he still is it's kind of fucking dangerous, because there's too many people listening to this fucking dumb motherfucker, and like, yeah, he's a smart man. He knows what he's talking about out there.
Yeah, but it's, I mean...
But it's at the same time as the fucking motherfuckers that wear affliction t-shirts anyway. So
yeah, but it's like when you see certain people, they listen to Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? It's not that dangerous because you're just like, oh, I don't need to talk to that guy. I don't need to talk to that guy. Yeah, I mean, it's not any more dangerous than any other element of culture. It's all trash anyways, except for this podcast.
Yeah, and then some of the movies we watch.
Some of them, sometimes. Near Dog's pretty good. I don't have a lot of big complaints about it as a cultural experience, except for shit-kicking Caleb. Why is he all over May? He doesn't even know her.
No, I mean, like, I'll pick apart most movies. It's a fine movie. Watch it. It's enjoyable.
Oh, no, it's very well made.
It's not a great movie, though.
I think it's a great movie. It's just, unfortunately... it has to constantly compete in the hearts and minds of most people with Lost Boys, and Lost Boys it has a more significant nostalgia, a larger spot in the zeitgeist. So sometimes that's how it goes. But Bill Paxton's the best part. Should have just been about him. We don't need Caleb.
I don't know if that movie works.
Well, Caleb's just like too soft and shallow of a character. He just, I want to talk to hot girl. Oh no, hot girl make me a vampire. Oh no, yeah, but they could have just use Caleb as a vehicle to explore like the depths of the suffering that the vampires are going through. Maybe actually make it a parallelism to like poverty and addiction, something interesting. But it ends up just
you know what would be great about this movie is that they made it completely different.
Well, no, it'd be the same exact movie. It just needs a little bit more runtime and a little bit more character study. That'd be it. That's all it needs. Otherwise, and then it'd be perfect. And getting all the
Cut out Caleb,
all the VHS
and
cult awards.
His sister and his father.
Well, his sister and his father need to disappear after his kidnapping. Caleb can still be in it just as like the audience surrogate for us experiencing the world of the vampires. But as it stands, it's just aesthetically pleasing. The vampires look cool. There's a shot of them all cresting the hill. They're backlit by the moon, and you're like, fuck yeah, this is sexy. And then nothing happens, though. Gets a blood transfusion, and he's okay, I guess. I don't know.
Movies. That was really anticlimactic. Dad, have you ever transfused a man before?
He says, "Daddy." Point fact, Daddy.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is, I mean, I don't think it's weird if you call your dad Daddy as a man or anything like that. I'm not trying to question his masculinity or anything. I am trying to question.
You have questioned his masculinity before, though.
I'm questioning the weird southern shit kicking dusty prairie white boy culture where you say daddy instead of dad. Questioning the linguistics of the honkies portrayed in the movie and stuff. Not I don't think it says anything about his masculinity. It's just like, man, people talk weird from there, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. It's a dad or pops or old fella. That's the only thing.
Oh man, your pops is great.
Yeah,
pops.
That's my pops.
Well, I'll call my dad Padre a lot, which maybe that's cultural appropriation, whatever. Fuck him.
I call her dad when I'm talking to him, but if I refer to him to other people, I'll call him my pops, or and sometimes like when I'm putting on a performance, I'll call him the old fella. Like he went to pick me up from getting my wisdom teeth taken out, and they're like, "Oh, is that your dad here to get you?" And I was like, "Yep, that's my old fella." And then they made me get in a wheelchair, even though I only had to walk like 6 feet. And I like they like didn't even like give me like the good drugs, so I was like perfectly fine. I think I can make it.
They didn't put me in a wheelchair; they knocked me out for my wisdom teeth, and they did give me the good drugs.
Oh, they didn't knock me out at all. They just gave me some painkillers and like, here we go.
Oh no, I was down for the count.
Oh no, not me. They were expecting me to get like knocked out. Yeah, but whatever. There's a fucking watching Near Dark. It is a pretty good movie. I could see putting it on in the background at like a Halloween party, or you know what I mean. There's like a real vibe to it. It's very cool to watch. It'd be interesting if someone cut it into like just like a music video with like the Bauhaus and that sort of energy to it, more of the Cramps and stuff, just because of how it looks. So check it out, enjoy it. Next week though, we're gonna watch Batman.
Bitman, the Michael Keaton version.
Well, I guess what you would say is it's the Tim Burton Batman.
But I like to think of it as the man that played Batman. So you got your Michael Keaton, you got your Christian Bales, you got your Val Kilmers, you got your George Clooney's. You got your Ben Affleck's, and pretty soon you got your Twilight guy.
What's his name?
Patterson, James Patterson.
Robert Pattinson.
That's the one.
Yeah, Pattinson. He's a pretty good actor.
He is. It's going to be weird. I don't know. He seems so small to play Batman, but Michael Keaton did it.
They use like camera trickery to make Michael Keaton look like a regular sized human. They could probably do it with Robert Pattinson.
I just like to think of a Batman that at least could challenge me in a fight. And it's not Robert Pattinson. It's definitely not Michael Keaton either.
Or Val Kilmer or George Clooney.
I don't
maybe Christian Bale.
100%. I don't consider George Clooney or Val Kilmer as the top tier Batman. I don't even think about them when I consider Batman. So yeah, fair point.
I think the probably only legitimate threatening one is Ben Affleck because he is like 6'4" and got
he's an alcoholic piece of shit though.
But when he was playing Batman, he got like 300 pounds of muscle. Like that's pretty intense. He looked fucking ridiculous when he was Batman. Like that looked like a dangerous person. And also, like you said, he's an alcoholic with a short temper. I think maybe he was a dangerous person.
I've had a short temper all my life, and I've never been an alcoholic.
Yeah, I gave up on having a short temper probably like towards the end of high school or early college, but then I was like, I'll really lean into this alcoholism, and that'll bring back the short temper. I guess that wraps it up for this week. Sorry I didn't have too many hard-hitting opinions about new things. I'll just reiterate with everyone who got their opinions about video games. I'm just going to reiterate my position on video games, wherein that the artistic and cultural relevance of 90% of video games is not good enough to outweigh the labor, monetary, emotional, personal, economic costs that the industry creates. So to live in a better world, we may have to sacrifice some things that actually do not create universal value. A lot of video games are going to be on the chopping block. So you're experiencing
I just don't. Is that really that hard not to do the crazy fucking work hour shit that they do? I don't know. Apparently it is.
Well, yeah, if they want to make money and meet deadlines and make sure their industry continues to operate the way it operates, yeah.
Yeah, well, then obviously the industry shouldn't exist.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's so fucking stupid. Whatever. I hate everybody.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter still.
Black Lives Matter forever. Fuck 12. Fuck the video game industry. Stop talking about that Last of Us bullshit because video games are useless. What matters right now is our brothers and sisters suffering. Cops are still out here killing people. We still need to be on that. Be on the streets to help out as much as
shut
we
down
can.
more fucking ports. That shit works.
Yeah, continually shut down the ports. The entire West Coast shut down for Juneteenth. You fucking continue this shit. I know we gotta make money,
occupy, government buildings. I don't know. You gotta be disruptive without being too destructive. There's a fine line.
I mean, honestly, if you don't have money, you don't have power. There's not too many things you can do. Like the situation I'm in myself. I mean, just. Fucking be mean to racist people and shit on the internet or people you interact as much as you can.
If you know people in real life too, your friends and family, be mean to them.
Yeah, fuck them up. Fuck with them. Fuck them up. This thing is, for a long time, there's been like this weird culture of inaction and tolerance, especially among white people and especially on the internet, where it's like, don't feed the trolls, blah, blah, blah. Well, we've been letting white people get away with too much.
For too long.
Yeah. For real, especially the internet aspect of it is a new thing. White people getting away with too much that's his whole tale as old as time.
Yeah, the internet. I mean, honestly, the internet's like not even the worst example.
The recent cultural
there's actual violent shit they've got away with that's way worse. But
like the recent cultural thing that you can directly impact, the internet, and the surrounding mechanisms that go into the internet and come around it, or your own family and shit. Like fucking, it's time to like agitate and tell them to shut the fuck up. Sometimes people
they have
learn.
no problem spouting their nonsense.
Well, sometimes people learn, so you might be able to reach.
Well,
people,
I mean, I don't know if they
not,
necessarily. I don't think that most people learn by argument, but if they shut up, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't know, but the whole thing is, maybe some people learn, but then if not, people don't need to be hearing that shit all the time. So if you shut them up,
basically that's what I'm getting at. It's like maybe they won't learn, maybe they will. I think the percentage of people that actually will come to a sudden realization or any kind of realization by just being argued with is pretty small. But if we get them to shut up, that's probably good enough for right now.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people don't need to hear that shit right now or ever again or ever before. So if you can help prevent marginalized people from having to hear stupid shit from your stupid relatives, then I mean, you're doing your small part, I guess. And then do everything you can to help out otherwise. If you need to get on the streets and beat people, I'll be there with you. Just come through Arizona. It's hot outside. I'll need to put on some.
Yeah, there's a lot of corona out here too. So maybe don't come to Arizona unless you absolutely have to. I don't recommend it.
I guess like don't go out there and do a little blood exchange in the streets, a little fighting action, little street fighting, man. Shit. All right, well, Batman next week. Batman. Oh man, it'll be my birthday after that. Ooh, Jesus.
Is this your birthday movie? What's your birthday movie?
I can't tell you yet until next week. Batman. This has been VHS Cult. We watch movies and determine what is the best movie of the 80s. So far, it's the Hillbillys.
Is that the thrust of our podcast?
No, that's not. This podcast is about nostalgia bait. Well, it's actually a trick. What it is, you get tricked because you think it's nostalgia bait about 80s movies, but then you come in here and it's actually like far left propaganda and me talking about how I'm from the streets, so I'll beat you up if you don't agree with me.
VHS Cole.
And she holds me and keeps me from worry and woe. And now they took everything that she gave, now they're gone. But I will die on this mountain my home.